ourselves asking these questions. I have pastors asking me these questions all the time. You know, they're on the phone to me or they meet me. Who do you relate to? It's almost like it's the number one question. Who do you relate to? Who do you tie into? And it's like, you know, you need to get beyond this business about who do you relate to, who do you tie into. We need to tie into people socially. We need to tie into people as mentors. We need to tie into people that we can concur with, and that we can have some accountability. Accountability is good, okay. And these people can be chosen by ourselves. Isolation is never good. But we need to get out of this mentality about who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? And we need to realize that God is really the only person, the Holy Spirit is really the only person that can commission us, that can appoint us. And yet, if you had to ask today, if you had to ask Reinhard Bonke, as just any example, Reinhard, who do you relate to? Who do you tie into? Oh, no, don't ask Reinhard that. Reinhard is, he's got a long track record. He's senior enough not to have to be asked that. And he'd probably tell you, if you did ask him, that he attends a church in his local area, wherever he's lived. But he doesn't make a big thing about it, Why don't people ask Joyce Meyer, who does she relate to? Who does she tie into? And she'll probably say, well, in my younger years. And now I attend a church when I'm able to in my hometown. She'll probably tell you, but she doesn't make a big thing of it, But yeah, people always want to ask, who do you say that I am? Who appointed you? Who commissioned you? That kind of thing. And yet, if we had to ask people like Benny Hinn, with all due respect, as any example, Pastor Hinn, who do you relate to? Who do you tie into? Where do you worship? Where does your family go to church? He'd probably say, well, it's none of your business, But if you really want to know, and I stand under correction, I think, he's affiliated, or he comes under the umbrella of the assemblies. He may have, I'm not sure what his current status is. But, he probably attends a church when he can in his hometown, in his home area. His family, he probably attend a church in his hometown or home area when they are able to. But he doesn't make a big thing of it. Yet, who do you say that I am? Who do you relate to? And pastors and Christian leaders, they need to get beyond this mentality. They need to get beyond this way of thinking, this confinement and this box that they place them in. You're going to be forever going to be limited by the Holy Spirit. You're going to be forever limited by God if you can't get beyond the restrictions and the limitations that man places upon you. Because all leaders, whether it be Joyce Meyer, Reinhard Bonke, Jesse Duplantis, Jesse, who do you tie into? No. I have a church in my area that I relate to. I started the church. I have a pastor running it for me. All these leaders, Jesse Duplantis, Joyce Meyer, Reinhard Bonke, Benny Hinn, whoever it might be, there's numerous of them, Why don't people ask them, who do they relate to? They'll probably tell you, well, it's irrelevant. People, I want to encourage people right now listening, and I want to encourage leaders, even ministers and pastors listening right now. You need to get out of the confinement of the boxes and the compartments that leaders and that people are placing you in right now. If you want to move into a sphere and into a realm of being used by God, truly being used of God and by the Holy Spirit in a dynamic new way, you need to take the restrictions and you need to take the confinements off of yourself, okay? Forget about what man says. God and the Holy Spirit is the only one that can commission you. He's the only one that can give you the authority to do what you're going to do. Either it's going to succeed or it's going to fail, okay? And realize that you need to break free from the traditions of man, that man and the restrictions that man wants to place on you. God started to speak to me from the book of Ezekiel as a teenager growing up, and I had no realization of how or when it would tie into my life. And only now I can sort of see that over many years, the visions that Ezekiel had of the cherubim and the seraphim and the and the creatures and the raising up from the earth and going forth in different compass directions like a torch and a flaming fire, that this is now actually what is coming in existence right now in my movement geographically, to 4 corners of the earth, slowly coming into effect and into being. But yet you still have people that want to say, well, who do you say that I am? Who do you relate to? They want to try and thwart or put a stop to the process of God and the Holy Spirit, you see. And I'm telling you right now that you need to take the confinements off of yourself. You need to take the limitations off of yourself. We as leaders, okay, and realize that it is only God that can commission you. It's only the Holy Spirit that can commission us, okay.